powerful wave of missiles reportedly streaked across the desert skies toward eastern Jordan as Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps announced it had launched a direct strike on the Muwaffaq Al-Salti Air Base, located near the town of Azraq. In an official statement, the IRGC said the operation involved a coordinated barrage of ballistic missiles designed to hit the installation repeatedly and cause maximum operational disruption. Iranian officials claimed that several missiles struck different parts of the base in rapid succession during the attack. The organization described the strike as part of a broader military campaign unfolding across the region. According to Iranian commanders, the attack represents only the beginning of what they described as an expanding series of operations. Before examining how the missile strike unfolded, Iranian sources claimed that more than a dozen missiles were launched toward the base in a tightly coordinated sequence. According to the IRGC statement, the first wave targeted the outer operational areas of the base, including radar installations and defensive equipment. Several explosions were reportedly observed along the perimeter of the facility, sending shock waves across the surrounding desert. Moments later, a second wave of missiles followed. These were reportedly aimed at the core infrastructure of the base, including aircraft operating zones and sections of the runway network. Multiple explosions were said to have occurred across the airfield as the missiles impacted. Iranian officials claimed that the strike caused significant damage to the installation. Several impact sites were reportedly identified along the runway surface, where explosions created large craters that temporarily halted flight operations. Runways are particularly vulnerable to missile strikes. When a missile detonates on a runway, it can blast large holes in the pavement and scatter debris across the surface, making it unsafe for aircraft to take off or land. But the runways were not the only targets. The IRGC statement also claimed that several missiles struck aircraft parking areas near the runways. These zones are typically used to park, refuel, and prepare fighter jets and transport aircraft for missions. Iranian sources suggested that at least 2 missile impacts occurred near areas where aircraft had previously been stationed. Large fires were reportedly seen in some of these sections after the explosions. In addition to aircraft zones, Iranian officials said several missiles hit logistical and maintenance areas of the base. These sections house equipment, maintenance tools, and supplies necessary to keep aircraft operational. Damage to these facilities can disrupt the base's ability to support sustained air operations. One of the most significant claims made by Iranian officials involved radar infrastructure connected to the base. According to the IRGC, one advanced radar installation was struck during the attack and heavily damaged. Radar systems are among the most critical components of any airbase. They are used to monitor airspace and track aircraft movements across long distances. Iranian officials said the damage to the radar installation could create a temporary gap in surveillance coverage. Analysts observing the situation noted that damage to radar infrastructure could complicate monitoring operations at the base. The IRGC also reported that several maintenance buildings were damaged during the missile barrage, triggering fires in multiple sections of the facility. Smoke was reportedly seen rising from different impact zones across the base. Iranian commanders described the operation as a precise and concentrated strike designed to disrupt the base's operational capability. After outlining the damage claims, Iranian officials explained why the base had been selected as a target. According to the IRGC statement, the installation had become a major operational hub for American fighter aircraft in the region. Satellite imagery previously released showed a significant buildup of aircraft at the base. Reports suggested that more than 60 aircraft had been deployed there, including fighter jets and support planes. Among the aircraft reportedly identified at the base were F-15 Eagle jets, which are commonly used in combat operations. Located in eastern Jordan, the base has long served as a key military installation supporting regional operations. Over the years, the United States has expanded its presence there, investing millions of dollars in upgrades and infrastructure improvements. These upgrades included expanded aircraft aprons, logistics zones, and additional operational facilities designed to support larger numbers of aircraft. Iranian officials said the concentration of aircraft and infrastructure was one of the main reasons the base became a priority target. The strike was intended not only to damage the installation, but also to demonstrate the reach of Iran's long-range missile forces. Missile warfare has become a defining feature of modern conflicts. Unlike traditional airstrikes that require aircraft to enter hostile airspace, missiles can be launched from long distances and reach targets within minutes. Iran has invested heavily in this technology, developing ballistic missiles capable of traveling long distances at high speeds while carrying powerful warheads designed to damage military infrastructure. By launching a coordinated barrage toward the Muwaffaq Al-Salti Air Base, the IRGC aimed to highlight these capabilities. At the same time, Iranian officials warned that the operation may not be over. The IRGC stated that the scale and intensity of its attacks could increase in the coming hours and days. Such statements often signal the possibility of further escalation across the region. For now, however, global attention remains focused on the dramatic missile strike on the airbase near Azraq. Runway damage, fires, and claims of destroyed radar equipment have turned what was once a relatively quiet desert airfield into a focal point of growing regional tensions. And according to Iranian officials, this strike may represent only the opening stage of a much larger military confrontation unfolding across the Middle East.